Boba tea company. My mom is getting her final sugar of the year. And then we'll be going to Freddy's for my dad. He's gonna get a milkshake. And then that's it. We will be cutting out sucrose. We all kind of have a little bit of a sugar addiction that we're trying to get over. So here's to 2023. No sugar, baby. I wanted to film a little update of how the diet's going so far, and also some staple meals that I have either every day or just incorporate pretty often. So I guess starting with one thing, I bumped up to 4 eggs a day. I think I started with like 1 or 2 at the beginning of the diet, but now I have an appetite again, so I do 4 eggs and some well-cooked spinach. I cook everything in butter because butter's delicious. I recommend avocado oil or something else depending what you can tolerate and if you're looking out for cholesterol or something. I also drink an electrolyte drink every day. I believe that's in another video, but I'll show you that. Spinach in my teeth. Some of this might be a little bit repetitive. So on the 19th of November, I started the selective carb diet off with a fast. So I fasted all the day of the 19th. This isn't something that's recommended. Yeah, I also lost a lot of weight, so that maybe wasn't the best thing, but fasting definitely just kind of kickstarts things really quickly. And then I was on the intro diet just for 3 days, so the 20th, 21st, 22nd. And then the 23rd, I began stage 1. And once again, I'll show you we'll link the website of the different stages. So stage 1, I was on for a while, and then I began taking steroids, prednisone on the 25th, and let's see, I took that for 5-week taper off of prednisone. I even ended just a little bit early because I was starting to feel better, but I was already down to like 1 pill at that point. But whew, I do not like the way prednisone makes me feel. I hope I never have to be on it. I think there's another alternative that I'd have to look into if I ever need something like that again, but yeah, it's not good to be on long term. It's not good to be on too often, and I think this was like my 2nd or 3rd time this year taking steroids. They work, but yeah, and then, you know, just like I could feel it like screwing with my heart rate, and I can't, like, the sleep, like you don't you don't sleep. So not very fun to be on, but they do help. So I was on stage 1 until December 20th. So about a month on stage 1, and then transitioned into stage 2. So I'm in stage 2 right now. I also tried taking a mesalamine enema, and it made things things worse. I didn't feel good for like 2 days after that, so I was just starting to get kind of desperate. The bleeding, I'm not sure how long the bleeding took to subside. It took a few weeks, and then I was still kind of concerned. I was still having diarrhea, but then I remembered that I'm not eating any fiber, so it was kind of normal. And yeah, my stools are more formed now, which is amazing. So kind of jumping around a little bit, sorry. On the 16th, I introduced applesauce. The phenols in apples, which I probably mentioned already too, can be a little bit difficult for people to tolerate. So I started off with pear sauce and did fine with that, but then wanted to try applesauce. And I did get some kind of intense cramping just one day, and then I've been fine with applesauce since then. Same thing with, I introduced bananas maybe a little bit too early, and those just didn't make me feel good for a couple days, so I kind of waited a little longer, but I'm fine with super ripe bananas now. Let's see, was there any other foods that caused any issues? Oh, yeah, so introduced avocados. Those were fine. And cooked spinach has been fine. I don't know if it was lamb in particular, but there was a few days that I was kind of lazy on making the chicken soup, it's so easy. I just, yeah, it was also just easier and faster to broil meat. So there was a point where I think I was eating a little too much red meat, and I got really intense heartburn, which I've never experienced to that extent before. Like my chest was like super tight, kind of scared me a little bit actually. But that's, yeah, maybe the red meat, I'm not really sure. I'm assuming so. And then my back really hurt, like it was, yeah, and back pain and chest pain, like it was kind of hard to like breathe. There may have been something else maybe going on, but I didn't go to the doctor or anything because I'm really bad about that. But that subsided. I'm just trying to have more of a balance of, if I do have red meat, it's just a small serving if I do have it daily, but the chicken soup and bone broth are really important because they're anti-inflammatory, so especially if you need to get that protein in, I think it's better to get it through chicken and bone broth. And yeah, just needed to do yoga. I was really bad about it. It's something that I need to do daily, so that helped with my back pain as well, and just getting everything aligned. Oh, I also added in garlic into the chicken soup. I can have garlic now, but I didn't consume it. I just used it as like flavoring, but I'm gonna start actually eating it and see how I feel. I introduced mushrooms on the 27th. Those have been fine. Coconut oil has been fine. I'm gonna show you the weight gain smoothie that I have. So I put half cup of either applesauce or pear sauce, half cup of juice, grape juice, apple cider. I'm using beet juice right now. Whole avocado, a whole super ripe banana, coconut oil, honey, and then I may also start adding, I can have almond butter now, and I might add like a tablespoon or so of that in there as well, just to get some extra calories and that nutty flavor. I did introduce blanched nut butter in last night. I made these really delicious nut butter brownies that I'll also show how to make eventually, but very easy. Just nut butter, honey, baking soda, and an egg. So good. My stomach was a little bit upset. I did eat them pretty late at night, which I'm trying to be better at. I tried to stop eating at like 7 p.m. and I think introducing new foods kind of later in the night as your like digestive tract is like working and trying to do its thing, just not as good. So I will be having brownies earlier today and see how that makes me feel. Yeah, those are all the new foods I've introduced in stage 2. Some other ones that I want to introduce are tomatoes. Those will have to be, yeah, no peel, de-seeded. Asparagus I'm kind of unsure about because I feel like there's a lot of fiber and I can't really like peel them. So I may hold off on that for a moment. Yeah, also green beans, I guess we'll see, peppers. I'm gonna do apricots and peaches. I can start baking meats now. Ooh, artichoke would be delicious, and then pumpkin. Nah, I mean, it's maybe kind of over that, but maybe I'll introduce it. I've been really liking acorn squash. I'll show you this tasty little stuffed squash that I made last night and I'll make again today. Yeah, so far so good. I'm not on any medication right now. I take a daily probiotic, the one that I've shown, and then a multivitamin. I will switch off. So I was taking it, I stopped because I also get I guess bi-weekly now, a bi-weekly vitamin B12 shot. And I'll show everything that's in that shot that I get. It's just a way to, since my body wasn't absorbing nutrients, I think it's a good alternative to get some sort of intravenous shot of vitamins. So I get one Tuesday. So actually I probably will take my multivitamin until today, tomorrow, and then Tuesday, and then I'll wait a week because you don't want to, I mean, you're just gonna piss everything out. So yeah, you don't need, just take the right amount of vitamins. All right, I bought a heavy box full of honey today. A little unboxing. Yeah. Got wildflower honeycomb. I talked to, so I got all this from Hayes Honey and Apple Farm. And so they mentioned honeycomb is really good for digestion and any sort of like gut problems, which all of my family has. And chewing on the comb, honeycomb is kind of like a chewing gum sort of thing. You can eat the whole thing. I feel like I've tried honeycomb before, but it's been a while, but really excited for this. And then we bought 2 of the purple sage honey. So they mentioned that this is pretty rare. They have this maybe every 5 to 7 years after a heavy rain, and we just had a really heavy monsoon season this year. It's delicious. We tasted all of them. They're amazing. So 2 big honey bears of that. We got white wildflower honey. So they mentioned this one is really good for allergy season, so to eat it now kind of in the winter to prepare for the spring. My mom has really bad allergies, so she's gonna try having some of this every day and see if it helps. Let's see, desert candle honey. This one's a little deeper in color. I don't know of any particular benefits, it's just friggin' delicious. Another big boy, we got mesquite honey, so kind of has like a molassesy flavor. Yeah, I guess it's kind of hit or miss for some people. We all really liked this one. I think it'll be really good for baking, just to kind of give it a kind of smokier flavor to some things, which will be fun. And then whipped clover honey. So this is, whipped honey is the only type that you should keep in the fridge or just a really cool place so it stays whipped. It's just friggin' delicious. I loved whipped honey. And that is about it. That should hopefully last, I don't know how long. I've been going through honey like crazy. I think the last kind of size jug, similar to this size that I bought, is what, like a quart, I think, 48 ounces. I went through that maybe in like 2-ish weeks. I have a decent amount of honey. I have at least 2 tablespoons in the electrolyte drink. I put about a tablespoon of honey in my smoothie. Anytime I have tea, I'll add a little bit of honey to that, so I drink about 2 to 3 warm teas a day. Any of the desserts that I make, so I'm gonna show you the slice of the almond butter cake that I made, or almond butter brownie, that used a ½ cup of honey. And now that my family is transitioning from not eating sucrose table sugar, we're only gonna do honey and fruits and vegetables as our main source of sugar. So we'll probably be going through honey pretty quickly. So great to find a local place that we can support. They also mentioned that, I mean, it is of course best to, you know, support and buy local, but talking to the people that own the shop, the gentleman there mentioned that some of the honey that you buy in store, they sometimes heat to a temperature that destroys all of the good benefits, natural benefits of honey. And then they'll add in corn syrup as a filler. So if you can find a local place that doesn't do that, then that's amazing. Of course, honey's a natural antiseptic, antifungal, anti-something else. I don't know, it's just really good to treat either like wounds. I use honey sometimes as like masks if I have really bad acne on my face. I don't think I've tried for any sort of specific like skin wounds or anything, but I will. We have plenty of it now. But just a lot of, like, if you have a sore throat, he said just to take some and just kind of let it drip down and coat your throat. And they also gave us some like little honey lozenges if you have like a sore throat. So yeah, I will be back. They also made some really cool lotions. There's some beeswax candles that were beautiful. We will be, yeah, definitely coming back and trying a few of these, just depending on the season and like what the bees are consuming during the time of the year. That's the kind of flavors that you'll get. So I'm waiting for lavender season, is my absolute favorite, so can't wait for that. I think I'm actually going to put some of this whipped honey on the brownie that I made, which is already a little sweet, but I just want to try this. So let's go do that. Here's the, oh god, hold on. Almond butter cake. It's just kind of a flat, I keep saying cake, well, brownie, whatever. So that's the one that I mentioned before. I used 1 cup almond butter, a 1/2 cup of honey, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, and 1 egg, and baked it 350 degrees for 25 minutes. And then it's kind of sweet on its own, but it is very like nutty, so I put the whipped honey on top as a frosting, and I am going to freaking go to town on this.